Good day, lords and ladies of the internet. I am your host, the Parafox Archangel, the English detective of the internet, and I welcome you back to A Hat in Time. Now, I know that Bioshock just finished, but my week is a little sporadical a bit, so we're doing Hat in Time. And whoever complains about this. Now, I recently got a suggestion for a particular game. Now, that game, I admit, I have played and had one of the games of the series spoiled for me. So instead, we're going to be playing a different variation of that game. Alright? So tune yourselves in for Danganronpa, Trigger Hatty Havoc. Ha ha ha! A lot has happened recently. Just by entering, you likely have an idea as to what happened. Assuming you saw the title card for this act. Maybe I'm making an assumption, but you've heard of, watched, or played Danganronpa before, right? Or played through Trial 1. Yes, I am familiar with it. Great! That saves time on the explanations on what to expect. Now then, here's how the incident played out as far as we know. The ultimate survivor, boss of the mafia, was found as a pink splatter in the kitchen. You know, it makes sense he'd be the ultimate survivor. Naturally, the prime suspect is the ultimate vigilante. Who's that? Trial's about to start. Who are these people? The characters are as follows. Hat Kid is the ultimate acrobat. She is also the main character. However, it's Danganronpa, so that doesn't mean she's safe. Why the acrobat? Bo Kid is the ultimate sidekick. She is essentially player 2, and is very similar to Hat Kid here. Core is the ultimate detective. He will have searched everywhere for clues. Whether or not he actually finds any is not a different story. The Moon Penguin is the ultimate bodyguard. They're almost always around DJ Grooves. The Groovy Mafia is the ultimate conspiracy. The Goofy Mafia is the ultimate conspiracy theorist. Knowledgeable of mafia and aliens after being one and sifting through Hat Kid's mail. Mustache Kid is the ultimate... Penelope is the ultimate vigilante. She's impulsive and headstrong, likely to either steer everything in the right direction or completely derail it. She also hates practically everyone else here. The Science Owl is the ultimate scientist, returned from being stuck in beta. The Tourist is the ultimate photographer. He loves traveling the moon and yelling at birds near the ocean. Good man! The Nomad is the ultimate mountain climber. They're a lot more talkative than most of the other characters. The Subconvict is the ultimate minion. They work for the Snatcher after signing a contract. The Badge Seller is the ultimate salesperson. Their knowledge of badge effects and from selling so many could help us solve the case. Timmy is the ultimate cut content. Not much is known about him. The Boff of the Mafia is the ultimate survivor. He's practically useless in a jar, more so now that he's pink goop on the floor. The Conductor is the ultimate drama king. He's in his element with all this murder mystery stuff going on. DJ Grooves is the ultimate celebrity, seems likely to lend a hand, has a high reputation with from his demeanor. Cooking Cat is the ultimate cook. They like cooking food. They haven't let either of the mafia in the kitchen since this event started, so that a trial wouldn't happen. It happened anyway, not because of food poisoning. That covers everyone. Trial's about to start. Show me the evidence. What evidence would you like to look at? Core's findings. Core found no trace of hard evidence in the room. Nomad's account. Went with cooking cat to the kitchen, but neither were in there during the murder. Photograph of the murder. Photograph of the murder. Shows the crime scene in its entirety. Pink goop on the floor and all. More options. Snatcher file. The mafia boss was killed in the kitchen around 5:13 p.m. Death occurred once his jar was destroyed. Class trial rules are as follows. Number 1, no leaving the building. Number 2, some areas are off limits from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. 3, you may only sleep in designated rooms, like a dorm room. Sleeping anywhere else is a violation. 4, you can roam the building with minimal restrictions. 5, no attacking the snatcher. 6, killing gets you blackened. Avoid everyone knowing you did it. Avoid everyone knowing you did it to leave. What? Avoid everyone knowing you did it to leave. Announcements are made when 3 other people find out. The culprit does not add to this counter. Huh. Alright. That's actually an important rule. 7. Survivors must attend trials. 8. No breaking into locked rooms. 9. Save some for everyone. Culprits can only kill 2 or less people. 10. Accomplices get nothing out of this. Only the murderer. Computer searches. How much evidence is there to read through? Computer search history shows that someone was looking up an uncommon and unfamiliar badges using the internet. Further searching through browser history finds you searches of bird execupets. But that is not very important right now. Red stain. A knife with red stains was found in the kitchen. Freezer vent. A vent leading out of the kitchen was wide open. Pink dyed fabric. A fabric found in the computer lab. It's beige and pink. At least I think it's beige. Beige is between brown and grey, right? Motive. Snatcher attempted to use our rivalries to get us riled up to kill. Yes, there's more. Mustache Girl's account. Penelope's account. Penelope ran into the kitchen immediately after hearing a crash inside. She was caught inside with the bloodstain by both the conductor and the tourist. ABDA. Body discovery announcement was made immediately afterwards. So it couldn't have been Mustache Girl. Because she found the body, then those 2 immediately went inside to find her. Alright, let's do this. Okay, so I clearly have to do the voices of every character myself. So, I need to practice my voice a little. Fool! I think you already know the ropes, kiddo. Solve the case or get axed, unless you did it, in which case, don't do that. Alright, let's get this started. You're awfully excited, aren't you? I bet you're enjoying putting us through this, aren't you? It feels good to be back in the courtroom again. Now get out there and shoot each other! With the truth, I mean, not actual bullets. Actually, do whatever you want. No matter what happens, I get to execute somebody. Both of you feel this is gonna be a long day. So, for us to survive, we have to solve the mystery, right? So should we start with alibis, or...? Mafia already know culprit. Mafia knows it was little girl with mustache. She hate all Mafia! Sorry, kid, the photo doesn't lie. You were there when he died. It wasn't me, though! I mean, yeah, I hated him and smashed him to mush, and put him in a jar, and... Okay, point taken, but it really wasn't me! I think we can just skip to the vote already. Are my fellow detectives ready to vote? I guess, but seems premature, but... Cut! Everyone shut your traps! Good! All that screwing around was getting us nowhere! It's as Nomad said, we find a starting point. We go by alibis, evidence, testimony, etc. until someone screws up and trips over their own lies. If you all feel like throwing your lives away without thinking, be my guest, but you're not But you're not be dragging me down with ya! Good! Now that that's settled, let's eliminate suspects with the fastest way I know. Alibis. Rules state that accomplices get nothing out of this. That means there's no reason to team up. You're gonna make this boring. I guess this isn't your first rodeo with a murder mystery. There's 15 people here. If anyone was accompanying them at the time the murder happened, both of them are much less likely to be the culprit due to Rule 10. Hat Kid and Bow Kid can vouch for each other, but what about everyone else? Only one way to find out. I can't believe this. Alright! Where were your picnics when the murder took place? Me and the boss were in the rec room at the time. I can vouch for that, darling. You know, I was in the hall. Core kept asking for personal information. Heck off is an interesting name for your uncle's sister. Please leave me alone. Moving along, me and the Alpine villager were here in the kitchen. Yes, that's... Wait a minute. Looks like someone's fumbled a bit. What will you attempt to contradict? Alright, let's read this again. Me and the boss were in the rec room at the time. I can vouch for that, darling. I was in the hall. Paul kept asking. Moving along, me and the Alpine villager were... Yes. Wait a minute. Wait, what went wrong? I don't know, the kitchen? Nomad's account. Counter! Counter! Wait a minute! Cooking Cat is lying! They weren't in the kitchen during the crime scene. That being said, the villager seems to have an alibi for them, just based on that reaction. Cooking Cat and I were in the kitchen before the murder happened. They were asking about what we were all doing during the murder. Oh, I apologize for that. I didn't mean to cause any confusion. It was indeed an honest mistake. Wonder how long that'll last until everyone starts lying all over the place. I take it you can both vouch for each other? Actually, darling, we can vouch for them. They joined us in the rec room. I was wondering why you took so long to get to saying that, though. By the way, next movie I make, I want you being our caterer. Assuming you both live, that is. Aw, thanks, you know. Will you picnic stop wasting time? We'll all be killed. Nah, take your time. I'm sure you'll be fine. We'll save that topic for later then. Why do you care? I thought you hated all of us. I'm surrounded by criminals, crooked celebrities, and people that sold their souls to that giant grinning sod that's in the judge's seat. Good times. Until you ruined it, kid. How hard is it to kill a little girl? Surprisingly difficult. Mustache girl Penelope doesn't seem to have any vendetta against Cooking Cat. But why would that be? Both have fur on their face. they both invaded my ship. Cooking cat works against the mafia. Well, yeah, of course they aren't with the mafia. Why else would they swap out their gross food, if it can be called that, with actual cooking? In case you haven't seen the pedestrians getting beaten and kicked by those goons, anyone who isn't mafia in that town hates them. You did what with mafia's food? Relax. Relax. The only reason I did it was to prevent you mafia from poisoning the residents. If someone ate that food, they'd have died. And the only reason me and Penelope wound up on bad tunes was because of the whole nearly destroyed the world thing. Everyone stop screwing around! Right, alibis. Who all is covered? Mumble. Okay, 7 people don't have alibis. I was in the AV room looking for something to fix my camera. The lens got all scratched up. The rest of the camera, but it could still work. Why was the camera scratched up so bad? That's not important. The conductor did it. The conductor did it. I have such bad darn luck with birds, don't I? Urgh. I needed a cameraman, and none of my owls are here. Sometimes things get damaged during action scenes. It's hard to explain what happened. It was normal until something just exploded. Then, how do I explain this? He was glowing like a rainbow? A rainbow, darling? That sounds vaguely familiar. I'm trying to work out who's talking! Could you, like, I don't know, apply a color to each thing so we know who's talking? In what way? Just, like, you just watch what happens? Death Wish was a horrible mistake. You'd think I'd learn to read the fine print by now. You bring up the alibis to get everyone back on track. Yeah, so, who all is left besides me with no alibi? There should be 5, including me. Any of you got anything? Mafia was in Mafia's room. Mafia thrown out of kitchen by Tiny Kitten. You remember where I set up shop? It was in one of the hallways. Regrettably, no business occurred during the incident, and thus I became a potential suspect. I was in my room opening mail. Apparently, Deadbird Studios hasn't paid its electric bill yet. 17 times in a row. Hey! Keep your hands off my mail! Darling, you don't pay your bills anyway. When are you going to clean up all of those bills in the basement? It's not good for the studio. Have you seen how expensive they are? We'll go out of business and still not pay all of them. Surely you're exaggerating. There's no way train expenses could be that catastrophic. Let me check my mail again. How much is 100 million pawns? Say that again! That's just one bill of dozens. Let's just pretend this discussion never happened, okay, darling? Is that a lot? A good badge costs 100 to 200 pawns. Superpowers and awesome gadgets cost less than these bills, and breaking and entering a movie studio, apparently. That's a lot! Anyway, I said before I was in the dining room when it happened, and rushed to the studio when I heard glass break. I kind of wanted to do it myself, but hey, if we live, I won't complain. Who the hell are you? Timmy is silent. Likely because he has no voice clips. Oh. So now it's been narrowed down to 5. The angry red lass, the badge seller, the lad from the other timeline, the mafia goof, and the minion to the snatcher. I say we figure out the murder weapon next. But he was in a jar. Knocking him over or just tripping on him would have done it. Let's see how this one goes. I need to clear my throat more for this. Oh. This many... I don't remember seeing anything that looked like a murder weapon. No suspicious items were found in the kitchen when I investigated. It's likely that the murder wasn't carried out with a weapon. So there's no trace of blood or on anything that could resemble a weapon? Maybe they ran off with it. If that's the case, something would be missing. I guess nobody here would know, huh? Someone said something that is wrong, that you know is wrong. What's that contradiction? Wasn't there a trace of blood on a knife, but I guess that doesn't matter here. What evidence would you like to know? Oh, wait! Hat Kid reminds everyone about the photo. That's right! The kid's right! Didn't I show you all the pic I took? That picture must have a clue if someone thinks it's important enough to bring it up. What's the clue in the picture, fellow detective? Someone is in the picture. No. A knife is missing. A knife went missing? How could we possibly miss that? A knife against a bottle like that doesn't sound like a very smart idea. It'd be easier and leave less evidence just to kick it. But the knife was there, and it was covered in something red, right? Actually, is it a red herring? So the knife is the weapon. Here, what peckneck would be dumb enough to put the murder weapon back after they're done with it? That sounds unlikely. Since when was actual blood in this world? Since when has actual blood in this world been red? What is this? What is this crap? So the murder weapon was a knife! Somebody would have been really dumb to screw up like that. Don't look at me, I'm not as dumb as these Mafia. Mafia is offended by that comment. What if we're wasting time? This seems like a red herring to me, even with the red goo. Nobody would be that dumb. I am pretty curious about it, though. You clearly haven't been around the Mafia for very long. What does it matter? Blood is red, and a red stain was on the knife. Is Timmy ever going to say anything? Something is very obviously wrong here. What details should be easy to see as wrong? Blood is red? Red stain. Nice to know someone agrees with me! You can only agree if the text is blue, and thus you are consenting to agreement instead of calling out a lie. The consent mechanic, however, is not implemented for this first trial. At least not like this. Something is all very obviously wrong here. Red herring. And the photo. Hey, I didn't say anything! Okay, is that the best you got, lass? Oh, Jesus Christ. Blood is red. Photo of the murder. Hooray, I got it! I got it eventually! What do you mean blood isn't red? Yeah, didn't you see the pink splatter on the floor? It's in the picture I took too. That was blood? Since when is blood pink? It is so hard to do conductor's voice with a straight face. You can't really argue with Mafia Boss jar model. Also, it's Danganronpa, so get used to it. Fair point. Aside from pink blood, I guess I need pink chalk and spray paint now. We can assume that the knife has nothing to do with the case, but where did it come from? Nobody is fessing up. Meaning either a mute character did it, or... I bet Snatcher did it to throw us off. Oh, come now! I didn't do it to throw you off! I did it to make things interesting! This guy is the worst. Well, what a waste. I think it's the kid with the mustache. They fit the motive. They were caught at the crime scene, and she doesn't have an alibi. What do the rest of you think? Everyone still thinks it's her, but there's an 80% chance we're wrong. We can't vote yet. It can't be her because of the rules. It must be little girl. Motive fits perfectly. Everyone knew how much you hated the mafia boss. But if we're wrong, we'll all die. We shouldn't jump to conclusions. Why do you care? You died a long time ago. Darling, if you can think of anything that can clear your name, get it out now. Boss, she has no alibi. She was caught at the crime scene. It's gotta be her. Hold on a moment, though. There are 4 other people that have no alibi. I have found no conclusive evidence to incriminate her. That said, she has no proof to favor her claim either. She's being ganged up on. Isn't there any proof that could help us? There must be something. There must be something. No proof to favor her claim. What will prove it? Class trial rules. Excuse me? Will you brutes get off my case? I was just looking over the rulebook, and guess what I found? 6. Killing gets you blackened. Avoid everyone knowing you did it. Avoid everyone knowing you did it to leave. Announcements are made when 3 other people find out. The culprit does not add to this counter. Exactly! Ha-ha! What proves I couldn't have done it? What the hell is that? I actually don't know what the hell this is meant to be. How am I meant to do this? I am dyslexic. I can't do words. Oh, body discovery. Okay, you want me to put a space. There we go! There we go! 3 other witnesses, and the killer doesn't add to that counter. Last I checked, the announcement went off almost immediately after these 2 were entered the room. If I'm really the killer, then who else found the body and never said a word? She's right! I forgot about the rulebook. Any other rules that can help us? Afraid not. Nothing else in rulebook seems relevant to case. Wasn't expecting that to happen. Usually you're stuck playing as the main character from start to finish. Oh wait! Danganronpa version 3 exists. Well, it wasn't you, and BoKid can back you up on that, so you should be safe. Hopefully. Okay, we're making progress. Only 4 left. Let's see. Mafia, Timmy, Badge, and Minion. Wait. Do any of you have a vendetta against the victim? The nerve of accusing Mafia of treason. I didn't even know who the guy was. He's blank. I have met many, but my feelings towards all are neutral. I am a salesperson, and it is best to stay neutral with everyone. The motive is another red herring. Well, any more useful information? Anyone remember anything? There's still the cloth in the computer lab. The computer search history, as if someone left in a hurry, and the air freezer vent. Remember Rule 8? No breaking into locked rooms! What kind of accent was... I need to clear my goddamn throat. Remember Rule 8? No breaking into locked rooms! The vent needs fixed, but none of you did it. If that were the case, there'd be 2 corpses to clean up. But hey, if it could be an escape route since the freezer is next to the kitchen. The fact you say that makes me think that isn't the case. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. That's for you guys to figure out. Aside from that, there's the computer room. You said someone logged in? Every time I try looking something up online, I get no results and my search goes to Federal Review. Hatkid and Bokid's findings are given to the others. Interesting. Which badges did they look into? That must be the culprit! If they looked up bloodstain removal. That would be a logical assumption, yes. And what about the cloth? Does anyone have anything to do with this crime? What are we missing here? Hey, any way you could help us identify that badge? Bokid didn't recognize the badge at all, but it felt oddly familiar to you. That can only mean the badge is exclusive to Hatkid. Existed before Bokid. Wait. That said, almost everything existed before her, but everyone else here was here long before she was even introduced. Even Timmy and the Science Owl. Especially Timmy and the Science Owl. Bokid was never in beta. It must be a beta's build badge. Hatkid brings this up. A badge with my face? How flattering! But there isn't one laying around here. Wait a minute. Is it the Snatcher's Realm badge? Snatcher's Realm badge? I didn't know Boss had a badge. Vague and exclusive. It is not a badge that is sold. As time went on past the beta phase, it was lost. A badge of teleportation would be able to bypass anything so long as you were already there to set up the badge's relay point. Exactly! But the wearer could just teleport to a place they've already been using that. I'm not sure if any of you remember beta, but I remember it pretty well since, well, I'm from it. But the only other person in the files by that point, and is exclusively from it, was... Ah! Well, it was you! I guess I owe you for getting rid of him. If only the circumstances were different, we wouldn't be enemies right now. Sorry, I can't afford to die yet. No hard feelings, Timmy. Ah. Really? I love how she's just like... The heck are they doing? I don't see how this is helping your case. At all. Darling, you're embarrassing yourself. Moving along. Are we absolutely sure this time? If we screw up, we all get killed. We gotta put this to rest. Is Timmy the culprit? We've gone this far. We can't mess up now. The culprit must have used the badge from beta, which means it's either me or Timmy. But I have an alibi. My intuition tells me that it isn't the Science Owl based on such evidence. Everyone figured that out when we all started with the alibis. This must mean that Timmy did it, right? Are we completely sure this time? We examined everything. There's nothing left to look into. Better to play it safe. Anything else we can add? The trial's almost done. Is there anything else you can add? We examined everything. But what wasn't examined? The Snatcher file. There's nothing in the Snatcher file we haven't already gone over, right? Then it's the pink dyed fabric. Counter! Wait a second, the cloth was pink. It's blood. Pink blood. It's evidence of the murder, not a weirdly dyed shirt. You tell everyone. The pink dye might be blood! Why didn't you say that sooner? You didn't really notice until now. Hey, Snatcher, is this cloth another trick of yours? Nope, that's Mafia's blood, not a red herring. I find it flattering you thought of me screwing up the evidence first, though I'm not actually allowed to touch the actual evidence. In that case, it must have come from Timmy. Hey, Owl, are any grey clothes from that beta timeline? Give me a moment. Hey, Owl, are any clothes from that beta timeline that this might be? This looks like the original partner hat, but it's torn and bloodstained. But it's Timmy's, right? Have we solved the case? I believe we have. Let's try putting everything in order. Events are as follows. But the body of the discovery goes off. The cat and the villager meet up with Grooves and the penguin. The culprit discards their hat. Snatcher messes up with the crime scene to mess with us. The culprit washes their clothes. Mafia boss dies again. What happened first? Okay, that's clearly gotta be cat and villager meet the penguins. That sounds right. What happens next? Then, logically, the next thing would be Mafia dies again. What's next? Then it would be... the culprit discards their hat. No, that wasn't the next one. What's the next one? The culprit Snatcher screws the crime scene. Next, they discard their hat. They wash them. The BFA goes off. Getting there. Next, the culprit discards their hat, and then finally they wash themselves. Here's exactly what happened. A little bit before the murder, everyone started going in separate rooms for their own reasons. Neither the Mafia cooks were allowed in this kitchen, specifically by Cooking Cat, who forbade them from entering. However, the Mafia boss is stubborn and managed to worm his way in. Upon reflection, this might have gone in through the freezer vent, which had been broken. Otherwise, he'd have had to go through the dining room with a very not happy red-hooded vigilante with a bad grudge against him. There isn't really any evidence to support the idea though, and it really doesn't affect the case at all, but it's a possibility. Darling, we don't have all day. Moving on. The Mafia boss succeeded in entering the kitchen, while Cooking Cat and the Alpine villager left to cater Grooves in the rec room. But that made him an easy target for whoever entered next. As a jar of mush, he was basically defenseless in a fight, resulting in the pink blood on the floor and the culprit's clothes. Why is that a thing? Darling, are you still not over this? What's the problem? Do you know how often I use red as a color? That inaccuracy will make me the laughingstock in movie history. Have you ever considered calling it an artistic choice? You didn't, did you? I guess I can work with that. Never thought I'd see the day those two agree on something. I think the pink blood joke has been run into the ground enough now. Moving on. By this point, the Mafia boss has died again, resulting in someone getting blackened. Mustache girl, heard it and rushed to investigate, with the conductor and tourist not far behind, as they were close enough to hear it. Because the culprit is from the beta timeline, they had access to the badges not seen in hours. They used the Snatcher's realm badge and teleported out ASAP. They hadn't really left any evidence behind in the kitchen since they were still wearing the bloody clothes and didn't use any weapons. Snatcher was apparently watching at the time and added some evidence of his own before vanishing to make things pointlessly hard for us. He did it in beta for kicks, he'll do it again. Okay, let me get this straight. The murder and teleporting out happened, then the Snatcher came in and got... And who's saying this? Which person is saying this line? As of right now, it's the conductor. So let me get this straight. The conductor and... Before the murderer and... The murder and teleporting out happened. Then the Snatcher came in and got the knife splattered with red before putting it back and getting out. Within the time span of about 5 seconds or so while I ran in there. While I ran in there. When she puts it that way, it sounds very far-fetched. But he already admitted he did it to mess with us. I think you're underestimating me by quite a bit. But why watch the kitchen until someone dies in it to add fake evidence? Were you expecting someone to get killed in there? He's hiding something. You don't know what, but he is. Maybe he tried orchestrating someone into committing the murder here, and another opportunity arose. After all that happened, Mustache Girl entered, shortly followed by 2 others who assumed she did it, except that the body discovery announcement was her alibi. That leaves us with the missing culprit, who went off to try and remove bloodstains from their clothing. If there was blood on their clothes, they'd be caught instantly. They snuck off to the computer lab as soon as they could fix that problem. They were successful in doing so, despite the limited room and the amount and large sum of people. My voice is really going right now. Though the fact they never logged out raises the question of if they were interrupted while doing so. That would be illogical, but they could also have been an idiot. They left behind a very decisive piece of evidence while doing so. Well, 2, actually. The hat they always wear, and their internet browser history. But we're not talking about the part where they were looking up bird execupets. They looked up beta-era badges in previous sessions. Actually, wait, why did beta badges come up in an internet search if they're from a different timeline? That's a good question, actually. Anyways, they ran off to clean themselves off, but without a hat and with hard evidence against them leaked. And that killer was you, Timmy! What is this picture? I smell an execution! Everyone ready to vote? The votes are in! Timmy has been caught as the blackened! Looks like I get to savor these moments as judge, jury, and executioner. Timmy seems conflicted. Well, kid, I owe you one for getting rid of that jerk for good. Maybe now the island can start returning to normal. Not to ruin the mood, but he's going to be executed. Maybe we should be more concerned as to where this goes. Right. Well... But why did he do it? Looks like he doesn't want to say. What an unsatisfying shame. So... Thud. Timmy just tripped over his own shoe. What? Timmy just tripped over his own shoe. He seems to be trying to tell us... He seems to be trying to tell you something. Otherwise, he wouldn't have done that on purpose. What?! You killed him by tripping on the bottle?! What kind of murder is that?! It was a mistake the whole time? That must be awful, darling. Why didn't you try telling us sooner? Can you blame someone for wanting to live? Even when you know dozens of others will die in your place? It's not a simple answer. I admit I love this music. And right before our eyes, my alternate co-partner was killed off and thrown in the trash like nothing. But that was the least dignified end I've ever seen someone be given. It was like pouring salt on an open wound. I never really got much of a chance to know them since he's from a different timeline. But he's friends with a different me, right? Now I'll never really know. Timmy is dead, and without pawns to attempt reviving him anywhere in the building, neither him nor the Mafia boss will come back. I guess we never really talked much about you, did we? Seems like only one person cares that he's gone. Everyone else, well, let's just say he wasn't very good at making friends. I guess we just head for the incredibly cramped elevator now. Oh, I'm actually here. Wow, Alright, what do you have to say? Mafia wish boss was still around. Faster than the light space travel, and these elevators are still slow as dirt. And would it kill Snatcher to requisition a bigger elevator? I can barely move in here. Hi. Mind control? I'd rather not talk about this. Can we talk about less scary topics? It's very hard to move in here. Yikes! Your queen sounds very scary. You say she's worse than Snatcher? I can't even imagine. The scariest thing I saw was a plant that... Actually, I'm not quite sure. It's hard to tell if the plant was mind-controlling the giant goats, or sending them into a rage. I'm really not sure what to say. I need a break. I'm spent after all of that. So much spinning and screaming. And fear of death. I'm not really the action type, but I'll be glad if you tried my cooking. I haven't had a great audience lately since I've been in Mafia Town for quite a while. What was that town called anyway? It's not like it was always Mafia Town since before they showed up, right? And a word of advice while I'm talking about it. Don't coat the town in lava again, or the world. You might hurt the people you're trying to save. I'm so glad that's over. Can you believe them? They actually thought I did it. Maybe we can make Mafia Town safe again. Back before it became Mafia Town if we team up. Now about that topic of you catering, mind if I try some? Looks like we survived. We should throw a dance party to celebrate. Who'd win, you or me? Probably Grooves. That's not an option. There'd be no contest then. So, Timmy was your partner back in beta, right? This must be hard for you. Or didn't it develop that far? Either way, I'm around if you need me, alright?
Have you come to make another purchase?
Really? This is an option? And look at this! It changed my camera angle, too! I'm very surprised about that. They're right, this is cramped. Alright, Claw. Good work, fellow detective. This case is closed thanks to your contributions. You'd make a great card agent, even if you aren't a bird or an adult. I have an inquiry. When will the Snatcher decide to let us free? Not sure. I understand. We must remain vigilant. We can't be trapped here forever. What about you? I'm not sure. I was told that if I work with the conductor, I must exclusively work with him as part of the deal. Darling, you could put that camera to use by taking pictures of me and my crew. What do you say? The boss is in the middle of trying to get a new cameraman. But as always, something like this happens and him and the conductor are fighting over who gets the new actor or cameraman or employee. Not that it ever really works, as you already know, as an actress for both of them. It can be a bit annoying dealing with all that arguing, but Grooves is a really great guy and I'm sticking by with him till the end. Right, now to get this timepiece. There we go! The timepiece is mine! We solved the case! Ha ha ha! That was amazing. But I'm afraid I'm all out of time for today's episode, everyone. So everyone, what can I say other than thank you all for joining me today. There's actually another episode of this particular mod. There's trial number 2. So if you guys like this and want to see trial number 2, just tell me in the comments down below. Just don't expect it to be for a while, because my voice needs to recover. So everyone, what can I say other than thank you all for joining me. I have been your host, the Parafox Archangel, the English gentleman of the internet, and I hope to see you all again next time. But I'm afraid that, until then, it is time for me to bid thee all farewell. Good day, and finally, good night.